said, my name is Darian. I do quite a few things, but the thing that means the most to me is true relationships. And this story is the story of how I came to love myself. I love you. I think we overuse this phrase. I love you so much. I hear women say this to the women and the men that they know without hesitation. Men are less likely to emote publicly, so you probably won't hear it from us except for in private. That phrase is uttered so much without regard to the action behind it. Love isn't a noun, it's a verb. What we do shows how much you love me and how much I love you. We can say it all day, but if I haven't seen you in years and all you really wanted was to get from me what you wanted in the moment, and you weren't there when I was robbed, or just in general, then your I love you so much means little in the grand scheme. I like helping people, so I'm not going to deny you my love. But I see what you do, and I hear what you say. And if they don't add up, then I have a flag up. I imagine, I think. I feel like that's what a woman feels like. When when a boy says, I love you. When a boy says, I love you right before she gives her body to him. And then he doesn't call, or he's an asshole, or even an abusive one sometimes. It's more pervasive than we think, fellas, saying whatever we think is necessary to get a woman to have sex with us. I did it, I've done it, and for that I apologize. I apologize to the women in this room, I apologize to the women that I've done it to the women in my life, that I couldn't be the man then that I am now, and the man that I want to be, the man that I want to see all men be. Respectful, tender when needed, strong, faithful, caring, open. I guess that's why it was so hard for me to figure out how to actually love myself. I couldn't do that and still be treating women like I was. You see, I wasn't always the person you see before you now. I followed the narratives that we all get growing up as young boys in the United States. No really means yes. If she doesn't say yes, keep trying. She'll say yes eventually. I believe those narratives. I received them from a very early age. The simplest example I can think of is Pepe Le Pew. He's a skunk always chasing a cat around who's not even his own species, just to finally get to love her. When you think about it, it's actually sexual harassment and assault. And the cat never said a word the whole time. Talk about silencing a woman's voice. Even if I didn't say the words, I love you, that's the mindset I had when I asked one woman, try me out, I bet you'll love it. I saw women as sexual objects, conquests for me to pursue. I never considered the fact that these people are actually human beings, that they can have their feelings hurt just like mine. And they may even experience it more deeply because they haven't been socialized to repress their emotions. I did this from high school up through my early 20s, when karma started to make her rounds, and we all know how that goes. I didn't get my heart broken every time, but when I did, it was devastating. I had no clue this is what I was doing to women when I would be with them for a time, just feeling things out, and we would have sex and complicate things, and then I figured out that I didn't want to be with them long term and we'd have to part ways. In one of my recent relationships, I had the experience that broke the dam. The woman I was with pointed out to me some patriarchy and sexism in my own way that I operated with her. At first I was resistant, thinking, I'm not sexist, nobody would ever say that about me. But that was my ego, blinding me to the fact that as a man in a male-centered society, then I'm extremely likely to be sexist, simply because of the way our society is set up and the narratives that keep it in place. I follow these narratives by default at first, and to a degree by choice as an adult. Ideas like, women are too delicate for leadership or labor jobs. Women are too emotional, so their opinions aren't to be trusted. I believe the second one for sure. And so I lied to her. It was easy because I had been lying to myself and other women in different ways for years, just to get in their opinions. And although I had stopped just trying to get sex from women at the point that we met, I still carried some of those same narratives, and I acted on them by lying again. We broke up, but we're still friends today. Friends who have lunch together and even text from time to time. And in the end, there was nothing to be afraid of in seeking and revealing the truth. At the time, I remember thinking that it didn't matter that I was lying because as a man, what I wanted sexually, socially, and otherwise superseded her wants and needs. And so a lie of omission was okay in my eyes, but it wasn't. And when the proverbial shit hit the fan, it brought on a cascade of emotions I had never allowed myself to experience fully. Guilt, shame, relief, connection, distance. Now that my past was open, out in the open with my partner, I was open to feeling all the emotions I had denied myself many years of suppressing feelings of inadequacy and rejection due to my false narratives that I'm now parsing out and dismantling. During the time right before we broke up, we went to a camp storytelling event, similar to this, but with only one person presenting. And the person was talking about showing people the parts of themselves that they thought were bad. And so during the program, we wrote down and mailed ourselves a message about the topic. And mine was simply to be better about showing the people that the parts of me that I considered bad. I received it in the melee of our breakup. And what it made me realize was that I had finally allowed myself, or finally let someone see the parts of me that I thought were so vile and disgusting that I never told anyone, ever. And I survived. I didn't die. I didn't shrivel up into some wilted form of a human being. In fact, talking about it with her and others who were close to me actually turned out to be quite an eye-opening experience. Possibly the most eye-opening experience I've ever had in my life. I realized that I had a lot of emotions that I had never let myself experience fully, and revealing the secrets to her and others helped me see the reality of our situation. I saw how I was being treated in the relationship, I saw how I was treating her and how I was treating myself, which wasn't what I wanted or needed. And now that I know my worth, I'm no longer shackled to negative narratives about myself. I didn't have to believe that I wasn't as good as anyone else for any reason. I realized I was human and not this unfeeling robot that I always thought I was, following the narrative of the stoic man that never cries and rarely smiles, though I like to smile a lot. But now you see before you someone who sees their part in patriarchy and is actively working to change themselves. But also someone that loves themselves for who they are because they took the time to stop lying to themselves and to others. That's why I can say now, I love me. The good and the bad. And that's how we get to love others, right? By loving ourselves first. Now I'm in a new relationship, a much more healthy one. And that woman and I continually say it's the best one we've been in. But until I could love myself, I never would have gotten here.